I'm Allison here, a former corporate executive turned high performance coach for women. And I am on a mission, and I'm on a mission to help you and me create more space and freedom in our busy lives. Welcome to the Late Learner Podcast, where here we are ditching the outdated norms. You know, the ones that we've all been taught to live in, and we find more modern solutions that just work better for you. So what are we late learning today? Well, what would it be like to slow summer down this year? I mean, really enjoy it. And I'll tell you a story. A few years ago, my husband and I took my family on a Disney cruise. And at the time, I was working like 60-hour work weeks. I was pretty fried and burnt out. So I was really looking forward to it. And my family and I flew to Miami. We went through the whole rigmarole to get on the cruise ships. My kids were probably about 4 and 6. They were pumped, and I was so freaking irritable. And my husband kept asking me, "What's wrong, Allison? Are you okay? This is a Disney cruise. Are you okay?" And the truth is, I was not okay. Even though this Disney cruise had playrooms where you could safely drop off your kids so parents can have a break and do something romantic, I was already at my wit's end before I even walked on the damn ship. Do you know why? I hate to admit it, but it was like, I don't think I've ever shared this at all, but it felt like a slap in the face because I felt like, all right, we're going on this Disney cruise. I still needed to be responsible for the kids and make sure that their sunscreens were on and bathing suits and watch them and get them ice cream and all that stuff. Now, listen, I understand this is a totally privileged trip, but I wanted to share this because what I know for sure is I bet there are some vacations where you have all the best intentions, but you are already simmering on a slow boil before you even leave. And it takes about 3 days. It actually takes 3 days to even register. You're even on a vacation. And by that time, you're about to turn around and go home or do something else. So what would it look like if you could slow summer down? And let's talk about summers for a minute. I mean, not to scare the shit out of you, but if you're in your mid-40s or your midlife, the number of summers are getting a little too finite. What I do need to talk to you about is how summers can be an initially welcome interruption into our routines. And it can send us on vacations we've dreamed about. We aren't really restoring fully. Before we continue, if you've been having conversations with your friends or people in your circles where this is kind of a thing that comes up, like, man, I'm so stressed out and I'm going on vacation, it's not really restorative. I hope you send this episode out to them. And honestly, in fact, the routines being upended, especially on top of kids' schedules and your work schedules, it can be downright stressful. And today, I'm going to give you some really clear and simple strategies. I'm going to give you 3 non-obvious ones to actually enjoy this summer and squeeze out every drop of juice. So when the fall rolls around, you're going to have memories that time cannot take away. You're going to feel better connected with not only your loved ones, but with you. And you're going to feel like you have been present for all the goodness that is coming your way. Doesn't that sound exciting? So you are not going to want to miss this. But before we jump into it, let's get to the good stuff. What is stuff? Stuff stands for the surprisingly true, useful, fun fact. And I open all my shows with something fun, some information, some new research that can help us. Do you have any road trips planned this summer? For me, I actually love road trips. I think my husband hates them, but I love them. But based on a recent study, 67% of people prefer a spontaneous road trip than a planned one. But if you are going on a road trip, planned or spontaneous, here are the top 7 activities based on travel experts that can bust boredom. And number 1, and my favorite, is listening to podcasts. You might be on a trip right now on a vacation and listening to this. I'm glad you're here. But I'm a little embarrassed that I got my entire family hooked on the true crime podcast Father Wants Us Dead during last year's road trip. But might I also suggest subscribing and following to Late Learner Podcast? This one, I hear it's pretty life-changing. And while you're at it, please leave a review while you've got this time in the car. Number 2, audiobooks. What are your favorites, right? So I'm excited that one of my favorite fiction writers, I normally don't consume much fiction at all, but when I do, it usually knocks my socks off. And one of my favorite fiction writers, Emily Giffin, has a new novel coming out next month called The Summer Pact. So I can't wait to get my hands on that one. Number 3, play a travel game like 20 Questions or License Plate Game or Punch Buggy Red. Number 4, try local foods and snacks. So when you're rolling down the highway and you see a little side road stand for boiled peanuts, or I think in Georgia they call them bold peanuts, I'm not sure, bold peanuts, or fresh peaches, slow down and enjoy it. Number 5, create a travel journal. I love this idea. Just taking a little notebook. What did you notice each day? Or maybe you can do it digitally on your phone. What did you learn? What did you experience? What did you eat? What did you feel? Number 6, learn a language. What language would be fun for you to learn? Maybe download Babbel or Duolingo and get your mind engaged in a different way. And the last one is number 7, be spontaneous. Now, this could be my favorite one. For many years, because you might relate to this. For many years, I was so freaking burned out that anytime I would have a vacation planned, like my eyes felt like they were at half mast. I was just exhausted, depleted, soul tired, all of it. And I had an aversion to making plans on vacations because I was so drained from making decisions every single day, planning every minute for work, for home, for all of that. So go with what feels good and say yes to it. And speaking of which, let's roll into some strategies to slow down summer and make it last. I'm going to give you 3 non-obvious, I love the non-obvious, simple strategies. I also love simple to help you slow down the summer. And all of these are designed to be really quick, right? It doesn't matter how busy you are. I'm going to make sure this is going to be impactful. So number 1, create a wild wish list. So this is super fun. Set a timer for 15 minutes, grab a pen and paper, you plus everybody in your house, family, friends, whoever you're spending your summer with. Grab a pen and paper. You might even open Google and put in the search bar, uncommon fun ideas for summer in your city or whatever city for fill in the blank, adults, tweens, teens, family, whatever it is, a solo, and let that jog some ideas for you. We did this in our house. And of course, my daughter, who is 9, she put on her list Jamaica, Disney, Ireland, all the places we are definitely not going to this summer. But she also had some really cool ideas where we want to go on family sunset bike rides to different neighborhoods to try different ice cream places. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't mean you even have to go anywhere. Here are some other ideas. You can go on escape rooms or museums that are in other drivable major cities other than yours. You can pitch a tent and camp on your living room floor. In fact, last night, my daughter asked me if she could build a fort underneath our dining room table. So she layered blankets all around. She secured them with books. She put her little fold-out mat under it, put all her stuffies and her pillows and her blankets underneath, and she had the best time just sleeping under the chair. It's so important and so memorable too. You can start a new family tradition or do family workout challenges. That could be a 10-minute walk every day for a whole week just to get started. Do you like live music? Festivals? I live in Atlanta, so it is always festival season. There's always stuff to go to, journaling sessions. And in fact, if you're looking for some new, fresh ideas for you, I put together an entire cheat sheet for you for free where you can find some fresh ideas to slow summer down, add some energy, and soak up all the goodness this summer, this season. And you can grab yours for free at allisonhair.com/energy. So that's number 1. Number 1 is create a wild wish list. Number 2 is presence. Whew. This one is hard, but it is truly the key. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, Allison, I already know this. Can you help me with something I hadn't thought of? Stick with me. So, the summer after I left my corporate job, for the first time in my entire life, I didn't have anything to do except take care of my family and me. No one to report to, no quotas to hit, no meetings I had to be on, no Zooms. And honestly, it was a little jarring. I am a workaholic, honestly. But we were rolling with it, right? And so what I did have is I did have a pass to Six Flags and two kids who did not have camps because mama wasn't working anymore. So we went and we went and we went and we went and we went. But it wasn't just my roller coaster addiction, which I genuinely have. My son, who was 9 at the time, wanted to muster up enough courage to go on a loop roller coaster. And my son, Danny, he's not the daredevil kid. He is cautious by nature. He's like his dad. And we don't worry about him getting like stitches or flinging himself off of things. He's just a chill kid. And every time we went to Six Flags, he would muster up the courage to go on Mindbender. Mindbender is this double loop neon green roller coaster in the Batman section of the park. I call it like the baby loops, right? Like there are bigger coasters that have more loops, but it has 2. And that's like the entry level to loop roller coasters. And so what would happen is he would confidently get online. And as the line got shorter and shorter, I could see his panic rise in his face, and I could see not only the panic rise up, but the color drain from his face as we would get closer and closer. And every time we would get up to the coaster, it was our time to get on, Danny would have a full-blown panic attack. He would completely freeze. His eyes would just be big like saucers. He would refuse to go, and he would shake his head no. He would go across to the other side of the platform and wait for me and his sister to ride it as he cried beyond the exit. It was so sad. You know, like that exit door, he would just sit there and just tears would be streaming down his face. So every time I would get off and ask him, okay, Danny, I know that was hard. What do you want to do? He would say, Mom, let's try again. I think I can do it this time. And this probably happened 35, 40 times over the summer, over and over and over again. Same thing. And for me, it was a wild test of my own patience. And so, you know, as a mom, I would pump him up before each ride. Like, Danny, you got this. You are strong. You're powerful, whatever. You're brave. And when he would freak out, I would say, Danny, great job for listening to your body when it would seize up. Danny, you're listening to your body. Great job. Then he'd go on again and I would completely contradict myself and tell him, Danny, your mind is stronger than your body. Don't listen to your body. Do it anyway. I tried every freaking approach. And one day, of course, this was the one time his dad was with us. He was like, all right, let's go. It was like late August and we were so freaking proud of him. We were cheering him on. And wouldn't you know, every ride he was scared of up until then, he made his total bitch from then on. And not only that, his confidence in himself shot through the roof. It spread like wildfire in every area of his life. And for me, what was really cool to notice, which I did not notice before, is that boy, when he gets a resolve, when he's like, no, I'm going to figure this out, he just pushes himself through the discomfort and he just keeps showing up until he gets it. And after this, he had the best school year to follow. He tried things he had never thought of before, never tried before. He made new friends. Like it was just a banner experience. Why am I telling you this story? Well, for 2 reasons. Well, one is how powerful it is to watch your kids experience something new, something challenging, and watching his own character get formed. The summer tested us first because honestly, I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom because I don't think I would ever been able to do my kids right. I always loved the identity of being a working mom. But if I'm being super honest, I don't like how I don't know how to play with my kids. I've even done a podcast episode of it. It's called I Hate Playing with My Kids because I genuinely do. And the funny thing is that I've carried a lot of shame about it and I'm awesome. Like as a mom, I can say that I am awesome at the hard conversations, the one that most parents don't want to have. You want to talk about LGBTQ rights? Do you want to talk about sex, masturbation, political division, death, racism? I am your girl for that. I love it. I live for it. I am like there with open arms. You bring it all on, all of the questions, we're going for it. But having fun, nope, not me, not with my kids. And so, but here's what I noticed about this particular summer. I actually enjoyed it. I felt like, first of all, I felt like I took advantage of the beauty and the opportunities to be in awe as much as possible and could feel the results of being present for it. And while I had the luxury of some extra time at that time, I now know that you can accomplish all of this without being a lady of leisure, even when you're busy as fuck. And what I want you to do, I want you to be intentional. I want you to pick something that you're excited to do and the people around you are also excited to do. I think that was the marriage of what worked for that summer is we found something that we both really enjoyed. And every week, here's what I want you to do. So be intentional. Let's call it the Sunday slowing. Put it in your calendar. Look ahead at the week. As you look at your calendar, what memories can you create? Big or small? How do you want to feel at the end of your week? I bet it's not run down and depleted. So what intentional moments can you add? And by the way, and you can use that list that I told you, that idea list. If you go to allisonhair.com/energy, you can get a ton of ideas of how do you create memories that will last. And by the way, it doesn't need to have a plan. Some of the best moments are created when you say yes to something spontaneous. So keep your radar up for the moments that you can capture. Studies show that there are 3 ingredients to making the benefits of vacations last: food, photos, and friends. Isn't that cool? So maybe try 3 new types of food a week or a day if you're out. Who knows? Take lots and lots of pictures and make sure you review them. Take time to review them. It really does help with the memories. And if you really want to be ninja present, leave the camera home and take mental pictures. Just be there. Just be there. And friends, prioritize time with your friends too. Having people to make memories with has endless long-term benefits. Now, I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil because I have been guilty of this. There are a lot of activities we do because we feel like everybody else is doing them and we are missing out if we don't. So, do you see your friends and social media feeds flooded with exciting, luxurious adventures? Maybe you've planned big, expensive vacations, lots of summer camps, which, by the way, are getting so expensive. Maybe you're going to build a pool in your backyard or have a pool membership or something fun. And when you start to layer all this in, because you got to think about what is behind it, what is driving all of this. If you are working and you have this pressure, like I need to get the most out of this summer, but on top of it, you're also working. And you're also, maybe you're trying to give your kids a maximum fun and adventurous summer that maybe you didn't have growing up. So there's a little bit of guilt in like, I got to give them all of it, right? I don't want them to miss any moment. But in the meantime, you're missing all the moments. All of it can be so fun and exciting, but can be so stressful where you pack in so much that you don't even have space to unwind and unpack yourself. All puns intended. So be purposeful, be intentional, and the real way to slow down is to notice it. Which brings me to number 3. And number 3, it's time to do some mental unpacking. Mental unpacking is the art of unloading all that you carry, even for a moment. So let's talk for a minute about how much we carry mentally. First of all, where do you carry it physically? As you know, mind and body are connected. For me, I carry stress in my shoulders. In fact, I've had massage therapists tell me that I wear my shoulders as earrings and it feels like massaging concrete. Yikes. Where do you hold it? Do you get migraines or upset stomach often? Do you feel tightness in your chest or find it hard to believe, or even the racing mind? So, I've been thinking about my dad, and this is pretty personal. He's been struggling with dementia, and he's 95 years old. And honestly, he is kind of fallen off a cliff in the past 2 weeks when it comes to his memory and his functioning and all of this stuff. And he'll get very obsessive and paranoid that people are stealing from him and all of these things that are not true. So I asked a friend who is a nurse practitioner who has a lot of experience with geriatric care and memory loss. And she told me, wow, your dad has 95 years of memories in his head. 95 years of memories in his head. And for my dad, he can't really keep the timeline straight anymore. So those memories may be true, his obsessions may be true, but they are not really happening now. So the timeline's out of order. But it got me thinking about my dad's need to process it and essentially unload it on someone else who will hear him. And my dad has spent his whole life really prideful that he doesn't need much. He's going to handle everything on his own. And my dad is also a man, an immigrant from Lebanon. And expressing a full spectrum of feelings would immediately rescind his man card culturally, right? So if you think about, my father's emotions were happy, content, mad, and really that's it. There was nothing else. And now it feels like he's got to process it. And I think the same goes for us. We've shouldered as much as we possibly could as intellectual humans. We are taking care of our kids' needs, our work demands, family, friends, community. And often we assume that because we are strong, badass people, and you are, I promise you that we can do big things. We can handle our own shit ourselves without asking for help. It doesn't even occur to us that we need help because we are always the strong ones. So, what I want to tell you is this is no longer correct. I'm updating your software system, right? Where it says, I got to handle all this on my own. I don't want to be a burden. It's time to process it and mentally unpack. This summer, I want you to lighten your load and fully recharge. So part of that is taking inventory of how much you do carry. Notice your feelings, notice the smells, the sounds, all that you have on your shoulders. And if this is a particularly hard summer, like it is for me, dealing with, my aging father and him being in decline. For you, maybe you're experiencing loss or stress or pain and grief. Give yourself a moment to mentally unpack it so you don't take it with you if you don't have to. And this could be writing in a journal. It could be talking to a friend or a coach or a mentor or a therapist. There are scientific benefits to when you share how you are feeling. You feel a sense of healing, even though you may not have resolution, just letting it go. And also, I cannot wait to tell you about this. Have you heard of rage rituals? I love finding these new practices and these new things to share with you. This has been a rising practice where women go out into the woods together and they take sticks and they yell and scream and beat the sticks on the ground. Essentially, they're just unloading all their rage together. I absolutely love this idea. Like they create these safe containers for you to just let it out. So this is happening all over US. I don't know if it's happening across the world. I'm sure it is, but it's happening more and more. And it shows how much we as women hold all rage. Rage is never allowed in society. And so this is changing the game. And Asia Suler, who is the author of the book Mirrors in the Earth, it's one of my favorite books of all time. I've even interviewed her on this podcast. She offers a really interesting practice where you go into the woods, you dig a hole, and you yell into it. The earth can take your release. Above all, mentally unpacking requires self-compassion. it requires permission, and it requires you to choose to live lighter. So I was on a plane recently. One of my very, very favorite things to do, I have this irrational joy when I go on airplanes that I love watching movies on airplanes. I think it's because I'm not distracted like I normally am. And so I watched Bob Marley's One Love movie, a biopic. And I love the Bob Marley lyric. I think it's perfect for this. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Isn't that it? You're welcome for the singing. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. So let's recap. I want you and me to have a restorative summer full of bright, joyful, memorable days with the people you love. Make the memories that time can't take away. So number one, make a wild wish list of things that bring you and your loved ones joy. Pin that list on your fridge. Prioritize adding those to your days. Check them off. Have fun with it. You're always looking to create memories. Again, if you want some brain joggers for ideas, you can download my free PDF at allisonhair.com/energy. Number two, be present. Good or bad, acknowledge and notice it all. Give thanks as much as you possibly can for what is going right. Because when you do that, even if things are going wrong, expect more goodness to come your way when you set your frequency on really enjoying the summer or the things that are going right, not having it go by as a blur that leaves you tired. So let's get re-energized. And number three, mentally unpack. Let go of the weight that you can offload and process it in a healthy way. Work with a coach, a mentor, a trusted friend, journaling, physically drop it, even if it's writing it down on paper and burning that sheet of paper. But do not take it with you if it doesn't serve you. So I love that you have spent this time with me. I hope you feel a little lighter. And I feel so passionate about helping women really prioritize their emotional wellness, because when your mind and body are fully aligned, it doesn't matter if you've got a lot on your plate or not a lot on your plate. We all have a lot on your plate. When your mind and body are fully aligned, that's when you can make clearer decisions. You can shift gears to create something totally new and fulfilling in your life. But I know the thought of choosing a new direction, a new habit, a new place to set your sails, whether it's a new career decision, maybe you're going through a divorce or you're feeling burnt out and tired or wanting a move or wanting something different. But knowing you've got a lot of purpose brewing inside of you, you just don't feel like your daily life is reflecting that purpose. It can feel really overwhelming on where to even start, how to start, even what direction to take. How do you keep it going? How do you make it sustainable? This is where I come in. And I'm looking to help 12 women in 2024 identify and live out their purpose. This is where I come in. This is why this podcast exists. This is why my blog exists. So if you're not on my blog, if you're not listening to my podcast, make sure you subscribe and follow. Go to allisonhair.com, sign up for something, you'll get on the list. And if any of this has resonated for you and you want somebody in your corner to make this real for you, let's get on a free brainstorming call. It is completely free. Schedule it at allisonhair.com/schedule. But I would not wait. Summer is going to be gone before you know it. And let's make some magic happen for you right now. And speaking of this episode, if you got any value at all, will you leave me a written review on Apple Podcasts or rate it on Spotify, CastBox? It helps others find these messages. And ultimately, my dream is to create a community of people who want to make a difference together. So I so hope you'll share this episode in your networks and on your socials. Be sure to tag me and I will repost it. But in the meantime, thank you for listening. Until the next episode, I will see you on the socials. But I love that you're here and I love that we're late learning together.